Welcome back to Squawk Box. Today's Executive Edge. The trade turmoil between the U.S. and China is causing some big money concerns for universities across the nation. And Robert Frank joins us this morning. He's got that story. Robert.
Good morning, Andrew. Well, the Chinese government yesterday issuing a rare study abroad alert to Chinese students in the U.S., posing a threat to the more than $14 billion a year that Chinese students contribute to universities and the U.S. economy. Now, China's Ministry of Education saying its students are now having trouble getting visas to attend or return to school in the U.S., and that they should, quote, strengthen risk assessment for coming to the U.S. Now, there are 360,000 Chinese students in the U.S. That's triple the number in 2010. And because they pay full tuition and cost, major universities have become dependent on those dollars. But a growing number of Chinese students are actually already shifting to Australia, Canada, and Britain, which have been more welcoming.
It's helpful for the U.S. to have people in China who understand the United States and people in the United States who understand China. It's much better that we know each other well and that we don't use students as pawns in some larger issue.
The university is now lobbying Washington to tone down hostilities. Yale's president recently sending an open letter saying tensions between the U.S. and China have, quote, added a sense of unease among many international students and scholars here at Yale. He says, I write now to affirm Yale's steadfast commitment to our international students, but with many American companies also leery of hiring Chinese grads, they no longer see a U.S. degree as a path to a U.S. job. So a lot of money, $14 billion a year. If you actually look at U.S. exports to China, I would argue education is by far the largest, beating out aircraft, because it's 14 just in the tuition. Right. Yet in real estate, where it's over $3 billion a year that the Chinese buy in housing for students, it's a huge industry.
But how much of this do you think is just simply a money story in terms of the impact on the universities versus the larger, almost generational issue? I mean, I'm thinking about what Steve Schwartzman has done in terms of trying to bring, American citizens China folks here. You might lose a generation of people who go back.
Absolutely. There's a thought in the White House that since a lot of the Chinese students here are in research programs at advanced universities, that they are stealing technological research from these universities, and it's better not to have many of them here. The other side of that, of course, is what the universities say, which is that we want the best of the best from around the world, right, wherever they're going to be, plus there's the money.
Yeah, plus there's the money. Plus they pay us a lot more.
That's right.
Schwartzman, by the way, also at MIT, is doing something a little different, which is ramping up MIT's artificial intelligence activities and creating an entire school for artificial intelligence there that is woven through the rest of the school, because he's so concerned about how artificial intelligence is really being led in some ways by the Chinese at this point. He wants to make sure that American universities and American research doesn't fall behind.
Right. But financially, I mean, you could argue that the Chinese students, which are paying, at NYU, which is the largest number of Chinese students, they're paying the full $72,000 a year. That, of course, subsidizes everybody else.
How many spots do they take?
8,000.
Yeah.
8,000. So there's that, too.